me to Sonic up there then.
I think they're quad tank.
Oh. Sonicking?
And then just up to Lucio.
I really like this. Like, so more than just flanking here, doing this as a Genji is just great recon. You're getting information on where they are, and you can relay that to your team where you're in relative safety.
Get some health, and we're gonna get ready to dive this Ana, okay?
Am I gonna get behind them first or no?
Okay, they're running.
Somewhere close. Somewhere close.
I'm here.
I got hacked.
Ana dead. Ana dead. Key Discord Zen. Oh shit. Just wait. I'll spawn kill the Ana.
I was just about to suggest spawn killing the Ana.
Spot, dude. They actually have.
Yeah. So, other than your D.Va getting, it was off screen, so we didn't really see why your D.Va got demeched. But there, like, you used your dash to get up onto the high ground to the right. So if you do that during the preparation phase for a dive, you have to let your team know this. Because the Winston or whoever is actually calling your dives may not know exactly the cooldown status of everyone else, and if he's preparing for a dive, and he's informed you that, hey, we're going to dive this Ana, so that's the prep phase. He's given you a plan, and you used a Swift Strike, which is an ability that you actually need in order to conduct that dive. So if it's on cooldown and you don't have it for the dive, you need to ask your Winston or your diver to just wait like 4 or 5 seconds before diving, so that you have that off cooldown and can use it during the dive. Because if you dive when you don't have Swift Strike, and the target gets down to 50 HP but you can't finish, that could lose the entire team fight. So if you use important cooldowns like that, just make sure that you let your diver know to just wait until it comes back off cooldown. The enemy is full of top 500 finishers. Ooh, yikes.
Have good aim.
They actually have good aim.
Okay, they're running May.
Fuck, why am I lagging? I'm rubber banding really hard. Some bullshit.
Nice.
Hold up, by stream.
What the?
Run same thing again. It's fine.
I'm on Ana right now in the back line.
That's unfortunate. She got Harmony too.
Pushing all Ana's on me. Ana, no sleep on me.
I have speed.
Yeah, you're. So that last.
They're on me in the back. Go now. They're all on me. Ana low.
Somewhere behind you. Maybe behind.
I'm hacked.
Yeah, so you wasted one reflect.
Ana down.
But other than that, it was okay.
She's one.
But this is also the.
Just keep hacking out.
Let's get off of.
It's also a good indication, or like a good demonstration of why, when you're flanking, it's so important to actually have frontal pressure as well. Because the that Ana managed to get the Zen Orb as well as a Reinhardt peel by the time that you actually were close to dueling her. It's hard. Her hitbox is kind of fucked, so left clicks are really hard to hit on Ana at range. But if you had frontal pressure, it would have prevented that Reinhardt from Zenyatta for peeling for free. And yes, you were trying to go for the spawn camp. But if the spawn campton failed, you could just like retreat instead of trying to force the situation. Because you didn't get like a reflect onto the nade, you didn't get a reflect on the sleep. Like the sleep missed, so that's good. But then they just came in and EMP'd you. So this is kind of just demonstrating the importance of flanking wireless frontal pressure, so that you don't get as many peelers coming back to kind of try and make you fuck off. So.
Widow. I don't think we're able to get any.
Am I going Pharah or no?
Right now. Yeah, go Pharah.
Okay, we're right off Genji onto Pharah.
Maybe go.
They're running Zen Ana, so.
I'm hacked.
Lol. Is this new Pharah? Or new Sombra? Looks like it is, yeah.
Where am I switching the Mercy? I have 90 on Transcendence.
Hold for now.
This maze close. Can you get all
I somehow got a
No! Total Ross. New
one.
sub. Thank you so much, dude. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're learning a lot. Hope you're enjoying things.
They hacked me. I'm gonna die to Sombra. Sombra one. Fuck.
Wow, that is so obnoxious. That Sombra hack. You just fall out of the sky.
Ryan discorded. They have no chance on him. Kill the Ryan. Ryan one. Okay, just hold my.
That's actually obnoxious.
Sombra behind.
Sombra.
Get the Ryan. Zarya.
Sombra is behind.
Sombra AP on point. She's one. Let's just go come to my air.
Made that.
Zarya's
you're good.
inside hotel.
Yeah, I'm with you.
She has grav now.
Now, it doesn't feel to me like you guys have played together as a
Probably
team
stays
for
that.
very long. Is this... How long have you been as a team, Afro? Can't have been for that long.
Now? Okay, go. Let's punish their spawns.
Go.
Nice. I love this.
Go on Zed.
Zen one?
Yeah, I love this so much.
On it.
Going forward to punish them, like, while they've got the shit
Genji
spawns
one,
and the
Genji
staggers.
Genji one.
Let's get back now. Get back.
Not even.
Nah, you probably could have pushed a little bit farther, but that
Not
was
everyone
good.
though. We can still
So-
pressure this.
Yeah, 5 up.
Yeah.
Always keep 5 up.
Go. I'll
Actually,
stay.
Well, you keep 5 up
Okay.
until, like, you haven't gotten a stagger in the last 10 seconds, and then you keep 3 up
They're gonna grab us.
until you're, like, you push for
Yeah.
distance
Let's,
after
we're
you
gonna
run
do a
out of
dry run.
staggers. So there's a little bit of a
As far as we
mistake
can,
here.
and after this, we're gonna do a dry run.
That was huge.
Oh, I
You
had
could have
no knowledge
barraged him
to
for
that.
free, because you weren't in any danger.
Tell me they're on you.
Right now. Upright.
Like, you have a...
Discord right
Where's
now?
Orion?
He's out.
Speed mid.
What tanks are you running? You're
Speedy.
running full dive,
Speedy.
aren't you?
You're lit.
Okay, it's fine. This is good.
Give it up. They used all their ults. They used
Yeah,
Toxic.
like trading for barrage there would have been a
I'm
really
just trying to
good
flank
bet.
you
Like
with
if you had barraged the two of them, because you're running a diva too, right? So if you had barraged both those tanks, you could have easily gotten a stagger. Like Demo God, who's basically the Pharah Junkrat
Alright,
one,
okay,
or not one trick,
Okay, let's
two
make
trick.
space for,
The Pharah Junkrat
Pharah,
2
okay?
trick that I used to play with, pretty much said that you know, if you trade 2 for yourself, it's almost
Something's
always
on me,
worth it.
3, 2.
If that
Is he on you?
Sombra kills you.
Okay, thanks for 3, 2,
Are
1.
we?
No, you
What
got
an
taken out.
obnoxious character.
I'm beating this.
No, we were already down 1. We should have just
Yeah.
taken it.
I agree with you. So,
Speed out.
as Afro said, I don't think it was very safe there at all. You could have gotten the Reinhardt and most likely the Zarya as well, because the Zarya was low charge and probably wouldn't have killed you. And as long as you would like let your diva know that you could have done that, you could have gotten both the tanks or both the supports if you had come up and like, you know, just been a little bit higher, maybe been a bit sneakier. But you know, if you get 2 and trade for yourself, it's usually worth it on Pharah, because it's really hard on Pharah to actually ult and survive. So is it, like, surviving isn't always your goal on Pharah. It's just getting more than you've traded for, which is basically your life. So how the pushing for attack works is you've got 1 on the payload to kind of have it moving, and then you move up with 5 to actually go kill people. And while you're up with 5, you've basically got a 10-second window where you need to kill someone. So you move forward, you killed somebody. Okay, you have 10 more seconds to move forward. Okay, you killed someone. And then if you've pushed them like all the way back, you pretty much stay up until you haven't killed somebody for 10 seconds. And then you retreat back to the payload. You put 3 on the payload and then hold with 3 a little bit farther forward just to kind of delay them as long as possible from actually getting to your payload. And that gives you basically the maximum distance between pushes. But there, because they hadn't regrouped as 6 and were coming out, you could have gotten a free kill on, you know, there was 2, the Ryan and Zarya were there first, and then they had the healers back a little bit later. And you could easily killed probably 2 of them. So we've been team for some months. This match was against a strong team. I think we were very discouraged. Discouraged? Yeah, I guess. Like, it doesn't seem like you're working very well together. Yeah, it doesn't seem like you're working very well together. Like, at least, like, your team, I think, is playing fearful. You know, they're kind of sticking together, and you still want to kind of push the aggression and still trying to kill them. But there's a disconnect between your level of aggression and the plays that you want to do and what your team is doing. Your team's rather passive here.
They don't have any. They don't
Oh
have
no,
their
you're
tools.
bringing them to me.
Okay, this is already. We're gonna go far right. Okay. Wait there for a second. We're gonna go below far right.
So what else do they have right now?
All right, I don't
Yeah, they have
understand
to-
why
they
that
have
call
to-
would be
they
made.
Good Nano Genji.
That's giving just Anna and Zen really good sight lines.
So we're not gonna go here. Go here. Push him in. Push him in.
I got
Oh, I got
shattered.
shattered. Okay, they use transcendence.
My goodness, is the Sombra
And shattered.
obnoxious.
Okay, so they shouldn't have much. They might have EMP, maybe.
I haven't played on my
I'm
main
still
yet,
the
so I
Junkrat
haven't
now.
encountered like GM Sombras
get
yet.
it. There's
They
no
weren't really a
rush
a
opportunity.
problem in like Diamond and Master, but I'm kind of fearful of playing on my main and having to go against like Grandmaster top 500 Sombras.
Can you top on me?
So now we're swapped up to Junkrat. At least you won't get hacked out of the sky this time, but still.
We're split right now.
Yeah, we're split super hard, boys.
Regroup. Go main, go back.
D.Va low.
Go back to our,
Get this D.Va.
go back to our man.
Genji's on us. He's gonna dash us. Careful.
D.Va out of mech. Get you behind.
Genji dead.
We're so split, guys.
He dashed right through your mind.
Go back to spawn. Go back to spawn. Everybody can go.
So you got like what
Sombra
is
on you,
like
Benny.
what is your win condition here? You
Don't die
gotta
now,
you
don't die
gotta figure out what your win condition is because their DPS are completely just running amok on you. You know they've got their Genji
They
who's
don't have
just
their
going
Genji
nuts.
right now, or there's,
They've got their
Let's
you know Sombra that's just constantly flanking. So their
What else are they gonna
their
use?
tank line
That's right.
has got a Reinhardt and a
Sombra close one.
like their tank line has a Reinhardt and a D.Va, which is really weak just in general. So you have to figure out at this point what's going wrong and how do you fix it. Okay, so when things are going crazy like this and you're just getting run over by flankers, you just have to take a second and think about, okay, how do we stop this, right? If they've got a Sombra that just keeps showing up on flanks, then we need to stay together pretty much. You know, she doesn't get the EMP charge from actual health packs anymore, so it's less of a risk for us to stay together. You've got 2 support ultimates. And 2 supports themselves. So as long as one of them doesn't get EMP'd, you should normally be okay because you can just activate this second support ultimate to keep going. If you go with a higher damage, they've got a frontline shield that they can't really take out or that much damage. And their overall damage output in like a 6v6 fight is really low because they're running Rein D.Va and then they're running, you know, their 2 flankers, their Sombra and their Genji. And their Sombra and their Genji are their DPS. So the overall team's DPS is very low. They're just causing enough chaos and flanking that they're more or less killing you guys. But they also, like, they have the D.Va itself for the peels. Reinhardt can't really peel, not as quickly and not as well as D.Va can peel. But again, their supports themselves are running Ana Zenyatta. So their supports are really diveable. So there's 2 different ways you could solve this. You could just go the direct approach and run like a McCree or something. McCree would be really good because like McCree forces Sombra to decloak from farther away and is also at risk of being flashed. So she can be a lot less ballsy or else she's just going to be able to, like, because she can't translocate away if she's flashed. So the key to countering Sombra is to pick heroes that can prevent her from translocating away. So Roadhog and McCree are the best 2 heroes for countering Sombra because Flash and Hook are threats that she has to play around. So they're also threats that would be present to the Genji. So if you were playing Roadhog and McCree here, 2 very high damage heroes, maybe a Zenyatta of yourself, and probably something anti-flanker or anti-Sombra like Moira, for example. So, you know, if you're playing Moira and Zenyatta just as an example for healer combinations, you have a defensive support ultimate, you have a tempo ult to push forward onto their weaker tank lineup, as well as if you do get EMP, Sombra can or Moira can just kind of like turn and try and save the Zen, you know, with her like ridiculous healing output when he's at 50 HP. Like he probably won't survive, but if the Sombra fucks up, then maybe you'll actually save the Zen through EMP. So just, you gotta, when you're losing like this, you can't just like arbitrarily switch your own character. You have to figure out what kind of playstyle as a team. And here there's gonna be like frontal pressure, no flanking, or hard flanking and diving the backline.
Sombra 1 on point.
Ryan inside, big health back room. Kill him.
30 seconds remaining.
Genji.
Genji's Discord, there's Discord. Oh my lord.
I'm gonna tire this.
Tire.
Healing.
Sombra dead.
Nice, got the
Genji behind
Sombra.
Genji one.
I got it.
D.Va's gonna kill me.
D.Va.
Leave on me.
You fucked up.
Zen on cart. It's Zen. Zen's on
Yeah,
cart.
I'm with you.
They're gonna have. They have shatter.
Yo, the fucking Zen, what the fuck?
It's amusing to see a Genji
forgot
main
about
just
it?
shoot directly into Genji's reflect.
Yeah, wait.
3 projectiles from Junkrat
saving my
right
beat, I'm
into
saving
his
my beat.
reflect.
You guys gonna go.
The one thing I hate about like the
Genji
speed
one.
here.
Ana.
Where's that? Where?
On the left side.
Sombra behind. Sombra directed.
Sombra one.
Sombra 1 on point. Sombra 1 on cart. D.Va's on me.
Behind.
D.Va.
It's kind of funny because our diva is almost acting like a flanker
Ryan
too.
on right side. He's one.
Nice. So you do have a McCree. Okay, some of the McCree and the Junkrat is a lot higher damage and it's just simple shit. But I don't know, what is your support duo here? It's Lucio Zen, isn't it?
Push up and get kills. Push up. We're not punishing. We gotta punish. There are only 2 there. Oh my fucking holy shit.
Zen.
You
Zen
got
Discord.
right click.
They're blading
You're
it.
getting blade. Hey, it's nice of them to waste blade this early in the payload fight.
Give it a minute.
What are your supports? Your supports are Lucio Zen. Yeah, so you're still running like dive tanks. Like, you're not the shot caller for this team, I assume. Then again, I don't really hear anyone being a shot caller or kind of like a decision maker because you're running dive tanks with like full dive supports and then really high DPS that don't dive. So another reason you're probably struggling so much against this team is just how absolutely just fucked your comp is, especially considering what they're running themselves. The one thing I hate about the Tracer Sombra 1v1s, like any of the competent Sombras that I ran into when I was playing on my Tracer Genji account, the biggest threat is if you don't one-clip her, you've got a reload time, right? And you either have to disengage immediately, or you get hacked. And then the other thing is that Sombra's clip is fucking massive. She's got a huge clip. It lasts forever, and it does 480 damage. So if you're hacked, there's no way that she doesn't kill you without having to reload. And the other thing is that, like, under the old hack, because of the time, if she started hacking you, you could blink through her to break line of sight. But now, neither blink nor recall stops the hack of Sombra. It's so dumb. Like, if you run into Sombra, you're hacked as Tracer. There's nothing you can do. And if you don't one-clip her, you're dead because you die during your reload. Like, Sombra counters Tracer even harder than she did before. It's ridiculous. So, I don't think... No, you can't 1v1 a Sombra as Tracer anymore unless you one-clip her. It's just not a thing. It is not a thing.
Oh, he should have given us that old charge. I know. That was fat.
Where? Go right, go right.
Yeah, but now it's easier for Sombra and at farther ranges,
I have
too.
tire soon.
Diva above, Diva above.
Okay.
She has bomb. She has bomb.
Diva is discording right now.
Diva 1.
Push it down, yeah.
Diva low. Out of Mac. EMP.
I'm back.
I'm gonna tire this. Push up. Push in.
You're right now?
Ryan.
Shadow now?
I'm dead.
Diva's discording right now.
Right side.
Diva.
I like the way you're using tires to, like, kind of push in with your team. Not enough Junkrats to do that.
I'm on cart.
We're gonna push up.
Purple right now. Yeah, Lucio?
I'll take high ground.
Oh, never mind.
Check out.
I'm gonna put a trap next to us.
I did get some sleep. I got so much sleep, I slept through my alarm again.
Someone on right side.
Okay.
They have shatter.
Ryan Discord right now.
He's gonna channel, watch it.
Hold on, you guys are all
Hey, man.
fucking...
Ryan 1.
Take him. Get it now, Genji.
Genji on me.
Close.
Genji one.
Genji.
I got him. Shit, trans.
Boom. Just 1v6. I believe in you.
I'm stalling.
Yeah, I'm dead on cart.
Speeding back.
You know, Sombra is probably looking more oppressive here than she actually is going to be in reality. But, like, I know from a few of the teams that I stay in contact with that they're running Sombra Tracer as their DPS. Like, hacking, and it's not so much hacking like Sombras, or hacking Pharahs or Tracers that actually matters. It's the fact that she can come out of nowhere and hack a tank. Like, if your mainline tank gets hacked, your entire team just kind of, like, falls apart because your tank can't keep himself alive.
Tank?
Yeah.
Or...
You gonna see that? Oh, we're running Sombra of our own now.
You
Nice.
just wanna play defensive. Just stay in the back.
Are we diving? Usually...
And,
I'm sorry. I forgot that I put...
the only thing that I think that needs to be toned down on Sombra is the speed of her hack, because not only is her hack like 650 milliseconds, it also has shooter's advantage. So if you like, if you're getting hacked from behind on Reinhardt, and then you spin your shield, and on your screen the hack was broken because your shield broke line of sight, as long as it would have gone through on Sombra's screen, it counts. So now it's not only reaction speed, it's reaction speed and ping. So it's more like half a second, or maybe even less. So the fact that Sombra's hack is 650 milliseconds and it favors Sombra, like so if you if Sombra starts hacking you and you react with Ice Block, but like on Sombra screen you didn't Ice Block, but you did, Ice Block will still go through, but you'll be hacked in Ice Block and shit like that. It's so dumb. I hate that. I hate the way they've designed the hack mechanic to favor Sombra.
Hotel money.
Yeah.
Support.
Watch your line of sight, DDP.
Zen.
Do you have a Junkrat? Or no? Doesn't look like you have a Junkrat. Are you running Zen Lucio again?
Play the hook.
Triple tank. I don't know who your flanker is. I didn't look at your comp. We'll figure it out soon enough.
Ryan one.
Good job, good job.
You should push in on that. You
No,
lost
no,
a
no.
run.
Anna, left side.
They're running double sniper.
Still there.
Yeah, we have to be careful. They have,
No,
they have
that's
two
them
snipers
gotta-
now.
You guys are low. You guys are low.
Chill down, chill down.
Oh, we were line of sighting. Just get out of there. Get out of there.
Help Ryan.
Oh my god, just let me.
You trying to hack Ryan? He's hacked.
Sorry, you're dead.
We can hold down, come
I'm
back.
dead.
Trying to hack Ryan.
I probably would have just gone around the statue.
Zen,
Look,
half.
Roadhog
Hands
can
up,
only
hands
take a
up.
certain level of aggression before he needs to kind
We
of
should
back out.
Yeah,
So it's way more to
response.
be kind of like an omnipresent threat than try and like push the advantage that you don't have.
Just back up.
So you had 3 seconds more on your vape there before you could actually
Hold it back,
self-heal,
hold it back, hold it
and
back.
you could have augmented that with the mini around the other side of the statue. So
That's
instead
on
of trying to go left to the statue, nice
Alright.
hook. Instead of trying to go left side to the statue and then
Careful,
immediately
careful,
trying
you
to
just
attack
got
their
him.
flankers within line of sight of everybody on the
I'm bombing
point,
you.
what you could have
Those
done
above
is
us,
gone
those
around
above
the
us.
right side of the statue, you know, used that walking
Nice.
time in order to get your cooldown back,
Left side,
as well as
Let's push up
grabbing
together.
the mini
Are
that's
we all
in
here?
statue.
I think
You're
we're
not
good.
all there.
Hanzo.
Hanzo left on the hook when he
low,
jumps
left
off. I got Hanzo.
side. Nice.
Good job, good job.
Let's push this.
Zen.
Kill the Zen. Zen first.
Nice.
How did that not slam you? Or was that
Oh,
yours?
yeah. Boostio, let's go.
Ryan hacked.
So low.
Sorry, you're dead.
Nice. You're doing pretty well on Roadhog.
Go check CR, Zarya. Widow's top right now.
No. No, grab down there.
I don't
You're
know.
running
I heard her
Lucio
dodge.
Anna.
Widow might
Chill
be
down,
going left
chill down,
side.
chill down.
Hacking library mini.
She was main.
No,
main.
she's
You don't really hit tab a lot,
Chill down, do not peek this, do not peek this.
especially when.
Downers are. We
Alright.
have grab next fight. They do have trans probably.
Yeah, they're gonna.
IVMP.
Like holding
We can
tab,
EMP,
especially
EMP,
between
and then
team
grab,
fights,
EMP,
is
then
pretty
grab.
good because you can
Grab.
see when they switch
I'm
heroes
gonna- no.
immediately.
Wait like 3 seconds. Io's close.
Oh shit.
No, we weren't ready.
Yo, Hans on the left.
Anna has ult. Ryan.
Hanzo dead.
You did that shot was right of center. Almost messed up on that one.
Right there.
Stay alive, Io.
Help me.
I got this Widow.
Nice
Yeah,
hook, nice
you're.
hook.
Oh no, the
Give me a
bubble. You're basically hard carrying now that you're on Roadhog.
No!
I need you to go side.
Clifford, thank you so much, my dude. Hope you're learning a lot.
I'm gonna die. We can't get out.
Just try. There's not too much to observe from Afro's point of view so far. Oh, you missed that hook.
On a low.
One Reaper now.
That sucks. Yeah, you're dead. Headshot plus a purple.
Alright.
Hey.
Last one.
Let me go.
The enemy is playing
Yeah.
deathmatch. Like they're more or less disrespecting you at this point and playing deathmatch. And this sometimes happens where the enemy just kind of realizes that they don't actually need any sort of team coordination to beat you. Wongton Fui. I ran into this man while I was leveling up my brand new account, and quite the sniper on that man. Good to see you, Wongton. But like you got to think about it from a perspective of your composition here. There's like you're running the proper composition more or less. You're running the Ana Lucio, which is good. It pairs well with Ryan Zarya, as well as Roadhog here. So you've got a nice composition here. But what is your actual role within this composition, right? So you've more or less been flanking and killing people, and then like the 5 members of your team have actually been dying. So this is kind of the struggle where you do a lot of work on flanks, and like you play primarily Genji and you play some Tracer, so your style of Roadhog play is also coming from that play style, that mentality where I have to like flank and put in work, and you are putting work in on the flank, but you then have to like weigh the decisions against, am I doing like, is the work that I'm putting in on flank outweighing the value that the enemy team is receiving by attacking the remainder of my team with me not there. So the good thing is that they're not running Sombra anymore, and you still have McCree. So like their Reaper is countered pretty hard. You know, their Widow, you don't have a Zenyatta, but your Ana, your McCree, and your Reinhardt should be able to take out their Widowmaker as long as your Reinhardt is playing Mr. Rectangle Man. But one of the things that your team is lacking overall is shield break because you don't have a Zenyatta. So like pretty much your only shield breaker is McCree. So if you were with your team, could you help, for example, just destroy their Reinhardt shield? Because they're running Reaper, who can't contribute nearly as much to shield break because he doesn't have that projected shotgun. So here, if flanking isn't working, try and think about other roles and other playstyles that you could use to try and win. And this is something that I do. Anytime that I'm losing a game and it feels like I can't do anything, I'll cycle between not just characters, but playstyles to see which one I need until I find something that works, and I'll continue playing like that. So you're putting in a shit ton of work on flanker, but if it's not working, it's not working, and it's no fault of your own. So try and consider the different playstyles. Flanking is good, and you're putting in work, but is your flanking what's causing your team to fall apart? You know, like the primary cause is that your team is less skilled than the opposing team. We're not saying anything about that. But would your presence there make up for the weaknesses of the rest of your team? Don't know. It's just if you're doing well and it's still not working, either a change in character or a change in playstyle may be necessary.
Hog with whole hog. Just grab
Grab
whole
whole
hog.
hog.
Grab whole hog.
Are they gonna transit? Make sure to try to anti the trans.
Hey, thanks, Clifford.
They don't have
Appreciate
any
it.
damage too.
Jayne, I talked like a... Yeah, I talked to Suppose, their main support after, and he told me they were basically trolling. Oh, yeah, they're hard trolling. They are not even remotely trying here. Like, the enemy team is not even remotely trying. They're probably laughing and joking, and they are 100% outskilling your team on a one-to-one basis. So, yeah, you individually are not going to be able to make up for the misgivings of the rest of your team, but yeah, it's very obvious that the enemy team is trolling you at this point. They're just, yeah, they're not trying, which makes it difficult to review because it's hard to say, you know, especially to a top 500 player. Your mechanics are fine. Like, you make minor errors here and there, but you've been top 500. You know, your mechanical skill set is really good. So it's hard for me to say, hey, you're just getting mechanically outplayed, be better. Like, at some point, I don't think the rest of your team is top 500s. So the rest of your team is constantly getting outplayed. So basically, you have to outplay more than just one person on the enemy team to get a win, and you have to outplay them faster than your team is getting outplayed, which can make games like this extremely frustrating. Are we having a Sombra debate? Oh, I'll get into that after this VOD review.
Well, we're not gonna
Charge him.
Yeah, I would suspect your team is Masters.
Zen and close. We can
Your team's probably Masters. This is usually what it looks like when it's about Masters versus top 500s. Oh, you should have vaped first.
On a half in the back.
Yeah, they're trolling you so hard here.
Yeah, we just didn't have enough aggression after Zen was out of trance.
I know Tengu. Tengu's really
okay.
fucking good.
We can still fight for third next week.
Yeah.
And we're probably gonna beat Forsaken now that we're a lot better than we were.
So what is UGC? It's some sort of tournament? Oh, that was you. That was you getting right-clicked.
This guy's insane.
Yeah, your team felt about high Masters-ish. Maybe you were low GM, but you were just fearful of the enemy team, so you played a little bit worse, but...
Yeah. Next week.